Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 111 of The Clickcast. As always, I'm your host, Josh, joined this week by David Thomas.
Hello, I'm eating pizza.
And the long-awaited return of Lauren McLean.
Aloha.
She's replacing Mr. Cotter this week, who has taken a leave of absence, much to our disgust. But I'm not yet sure if I'm going to be calling him for trivia or not later. But we will find that out. Guys, how are you?
So,
okay.
Toasty.
What I've got here is I've got a barbecue base. So it's a standard. Joey.
Is this from? Hang on. Giuseppe's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Giuseppe's Pizza Mornington.
Continue.
Anybody down on the niche?
Wait,
not a fan of their barbecue chicken.
Oh, okay. No, it's just there's a bit of channeling your inner Craig David there, dude.
It's pretty dark.
I've had a cut. I'm graduating this week, so my hair.
So you've cut it into a Craig David chin strap.
I think that's just the lighting.
Oh, okay.
It was getting a bit mangy there, David. I got to admit.
It was,
Yeah.
And I want to invest in a proper. I'll get back to my pizza in a second. I want to get a proper shaver because when I tried to do like a trim, it was not working. And then I raised it above, like I kind of angled the thing, and then it trimmed more than I was wanting. So I think I need to get like a proper trimmer so that I can have a beard, but not like a mangy beard, like it was developing into, or had already developed into. Regardless, what I've got here is a standard base. Barbecue base. So this is barbecue sauce as a base, not tomato paste. Ham. Some hot salami.
Show us the pizza, David. Come on.
That's a good idea, Lorne.
Thank you.
Oh wait. So
that's a lot of barbecue sauce.
Yeah, so essentially it's a barbecue sauce base. Then it's kind of absorbed in some ways by the ham, the shredded ham. Breast chicken, properly breast chicken, proper like
properly
properly breast,
only the
properly
finest of sourced meats and rotisseries items from Giuseppe's Pizza Mornington, and then chicken, hot salami, pork sausage, bacon, barbecue sauce. I didn't go the extreme meat lovers. It's just a standard meat lovers with chicken and some like additional barbecue sauce. But yeah, incredible.
David, when you come down to Bendigo next, and we go out for dinner, you should come to Clogs because Clogs is my favorite pizza restaurant in Bendigo, and they do some pretty good meat lovers pizzas. Got to say,
we can do Clogs.
Well, so we can do Clogs. Yeah.
Well, I mentioned on the stream the other night that Ellie and I were at an engagement party, and they served pizza. None of them had barbecue sauce.
Oh, that
is an atrocity.
Even the meat lovers.
Oh, I hate meat lovers with tomato sauce.
Well, like you can have
meat lovers with tomato sauce.
You can have a tomato sauce base. Like that's kind of standard. The paste is the base has tomato sauce on it, but you can't not have barbecue sauce on the top. Like that's just
you gotta have the swirl.
I'm like scouring these boxes, and I'm like, surely, where my barbecue sauce at?
That's interesting cuisine for an engagement party.
There was also like a lot of finger type food and stuff like that. It was kind of like a.
Was there a delicious grazing table made by yours truly?
Yes. Well, I mean, nothing can ever match. Nothing can ever match yours, Lorne.
Thanks.
But
thanks. I liked how you ate it as I was assembling it.
The cake was a bit too. Yeah, of course. You were too. Don't you you who cast the first stone.
Shush. It was
yeah, I think that's kind of it was a good affair in terms of food.
Well, that's good. That's very good.
I'm happy.
We're excited to have our anti-wedding, where we do everything that weddings do now, but we don't do everything weddings do now. So we're excited to have our.
You're not going to have a hashtag Mr. and Mrs. Penner
Mr. and Mrs. Penner. Okay, sorry, Josh, I had to do that. Just sorry, Lauren, pause. Yes. Sorry. I had to repeat exactly what you just said then, Josh, for editing later, because at some point, I think very recently, like I don't think I missed anything I said. I think my pizza box hit the unrecord button.
There is no unrecord button. That's not a button.
It stopped recording or something, but I think it shouldn't be too bad. But I've repeated literally exactly what you said to help you try to kind of to cue that back in, if that makes sense. I think that was. I mean, I think like I acted on that pretty quickly. I acted on that.
We
pretty
talked about pizza. It's fine. It's okay.
Dog, why have you picked? The dog has picked now to decide to start playing with the ball that I bought it 3 weeks ago and has not literally not touched.
She's lonely.
She's not. She has 2 cats and another dog to play with.
She wants human attention.
Update on my life. I have decided I'm going to get a pet octopus.
Yeah, you are.
And I am very excited for it. Because no one I know has a pet octopus, and I want to be someone who, when you're walking down the street and someone's like, "Hey, do you know someone with a pet octopus?" They can be like, "Yes, I do." So that's pretty much.
Are you going to call it Reaper though?
I don't know yet.
You better.
It's either going to be Reaper or Glen Coco. One of those 2 things.
What are you up to in the
going out there? Going out the thing.
What are you up to in the octopus saga, Josh?
What do you mean? Just in my general...
class.
Class, yeah. I'm still... Okay, so... I started a new anime. Because I found... Oh, what did you start?
It's on Netflix.
Oh, mine's video game related, so you go first.
Oh, okay. Mine's called... Matt and I started it the other day. It's called Escaped.
Okay.
No, Escaped. It's about...
Escapade.
It's got Escapade. So it's like this 29-year-old dude, right? And he has these flashbacks in time all of a sudden when he goes back in time to save someone. So he was like riding, he's like a pizza delivery boy, and he was like riding his bike, and then he flashed back in time and he noticed like a driver that was gonna like kill people basically. So then he has this giant leap backwards 18 years in the past to try and stop a kidnapping at his elementary school. It's pretty interesting, pretty cool, pretty cool so far. Enjoying. It's dubbed, which is nice.
Oh, wonderful.
It's on Netflix as well, so it's very accessible.
Yeah,
it's got Ryuji in it too.
Ellie and I are about halfway through The Future Diary, which like is good. It's got nothing on ass class. It's hard to go from ass class to a different anime and just kind of like.
I started watching.
My favorite anime.
I only just found out yesterday, so I started watching it last night. That there's a Danganronpa anime. That game, like I loved the story and like the setting of that game, but did not like the gameplay at all. So I feel like an anime is a perfect way for me to experience Danganronpa. I don't think it's directly spin-off.
Persona.
Huh?
Almost like how Persona is a better show than it is game.
Okay, well that is not true at all. But
we don't mention Persona anime in this household.
Yeah, why? We're like 3 episodes behind.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
After this weekend, I'm free like every weekend until I
die.
Aren't.
But in Asa's class, I'm up to the part where I think the episode is called Confession Time. It's right after there's a big reveal. Yeah, I haven't watched it since I've moved. So, oh my god, dog, hold the ball in your mouth.
Well, you're still pretty. He's still pretty far away.
Take it out of the room. Go on. Don't look at me like that. Take it out of the room.
I wish I had that much Asa's class left.
Yeah, it was a good ass class to watch. I watched the last episode again the other day.
The lessons that beautiful octopus man imparts as well have such profound meaning. And
I'm really disappointed now that I've called my dog Koro, because obviously getting a pet octopus, I would want to name him Koro Sensei, but I can't have Koro Maru and Koro Sensei. I can't have that. Can I have that? Like, octopuses don't really come to their name, so I could call him really whatever I wanted.
You could, but you can't have Koro and Koro Sensei.
You're going to confuse Koro.
I can do whatever I want. Like, it's my octopus. So
I suppose.
But no, yeah,
not for long.
It'll
escape.
Finally watched all the speedruns from SGDQ 2018, which was great. There's not as many awesome ones. What?
How many speedruns is that?
A lot. Like, a lot.
Do not get between Josh and his speedruns, man. You don't want to see the end of that.
Because it's 24 hours over 7 days, 168 hours of speedruns. So a lot
That's a lot of hours.
Is the answer. Right. That is the.
Were you watching it while you're at work?
No. I mean, I've been watching it like since it was on, and it was on like the 3rd of June.
True. Yeah.
Like it's been a while. Like it was on while I was still living at the old house, so it was on like a month and a half ago. I spent the last month and a half like watching. I actually no, because it's set up in between. So sometimes it's like half an hour set up in between. So it wouldn't be.
Which one would I enjoy? Which one should I watch? Like what game
from this year? The Rise of the Tomb Raider run was pretty interesting. It was the first time it's ever been run at a GDQ, and he broke that game like incredibly. There is an awesome 6.5 hour Final Fantasy VI 100% glitchless run, which means he literally beats the game as intended 100% in 6 hours.
Yeah, that's right. I want that.
Incredible.
Like the glitches are cool, but
you want to just see someone who's really good at their game.
Yeah, I want to see something.
They're my favorite as well.
Like,
I mean, my personal favorite run was the Pokemon Blue and Yellow 2 games 1 controller run. That was incredible. Like incredible. He literally plays both games at the same time. Like it's unlike anything I have ever seen before. And does it go to plan? No, it does not. But it does not. That does not lower the impressiveness that is being able to deal with 2 different game seeds on 2 different random encounters at different times, as well as the fact that because of the colors that they shoehorned into Pokemon Yellow, the game lags. So even if you got the exact same encounters every single time, Blue would still end up pretty far in front of Yellow. And it's so good. It's so good. So go watch that. It's awesome. It is.
See,
awesome.
I don't think I'd want to watch a run that I have already watched. Like, I don't think I could be bothered going and watching like another Resident Evil 7 run.
Although Cassie's Resident 7 run
that.
from AGDQ 2018, so the one at the start of the year, is one of the best speedruns I think GDQ's ever done. Mostly because of Cassie.
And I've watched that. But what I'm saying
watched
is
it. That's right, because you were complaining about how much of an annoying jerk Punchy is.
And the announcer chick who had no tone in her voice whatsoever.
It's awesome. I mean, I was just a little disappointed with Half Coordinated's run this year. Half Coordinated is a guy who has some sort of muscle disability, so he plays games one-handed. And in the past, I've watched him beat like Nier Automata one-handed in an hour and a half, and it's like, how have you done this?
Is that false advertising, though? Because doesn't coordination have to do with the link between the eye and hand?
Oh, well, yes. But... well, don't argue. What does touchy Davos mean?
I'm touchy.
A lot of things?
I'm a touchy...
You're a touchy person.
I'm a touchy personality.
Yeah,
I'm a touchy personality, and my name is Davos.
Okay, no, it's not.
It's absolutely not. That's false advertising. Your name is Dietz. And that is what it will stay.
Stick togs. Thank you very much.
Video games. I haven't played anything besides Octopath Traveler, but oh my god, have I put so much time into Octopath Traveler. I'm still loving it. I do have some complaints now, though, David. David, do you want to hear my complaints?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make an eat dinner before the podcast rule, I think.
Well, yeah, I had to scarf
this is the first time I've ever had to eat during.
That is not true. You have eaten during the podcast many times.
That is also true. But
yes,
this was
I know it is.
Pizza.
Because I get annoyed about it every single time. I hate watching people eat, and you're literally on my screen.
There is time sensitivity involved in delivered pizza. Like, I can't
get it delivered earlier.
No, you couldn't, because I didn't get home till I had work, and then we were like working out with the TV, and like it's you know.
Whatever. It's fine. Hello to White Fire in chat. Yeah. I'm glad to hear you making dinner. I'm glad to hear you're tuning in while you're making dinner. I know how busy your evening is meant to be tonight. But Octopath Traveler, it is a game. It is a game that I've played a lot of. It's a game that I thoroughly enjoy. My credit screen is all screwed up here, so I apologize to Nintendo for me ruining their stuff. But Octopath Traveler, I have some complaints. David, here we go. It is a complaint that we did speak about last week, being the grind that needs to happen for the game to sort of I
never finished listening to last week's podcast
to sort of roll through. It is Cog Whistle, welcome. The grind is a thing, very much so. The difficulty curve is pretty insane. You finish the so I've collected all 8 characters now, it's you.
Do you keep them in your pocket?
You do, yes. No, you keep them in the tavern. And you go talk to the tavern man, and he says, "Hey, who do you want to take with you this time?"
I also know that.
Keep that in mind, because I'm gonna. That's my second complaint. My first
complaint, which is it? One tavern?
No. There's a tavern in every city.
Okay.
So, and there's fast travel anyway, so it's not a big issue. But the difficulty curve is pretty insane. So when you finish the final character's chapter, you can go. To pretty much follow any of the characters, like they finish their chapter 1, you can go to any character's chapter 2. And the level requirement is really quite high. Like you need about level 12 once you pick up the last character. Mine was the dancer, Primrose. And then it jumps like straight up to level 24. And there's a long way in between level 12 and 24. So
it's like, double.
It's literally double. So there is quite a grind.
And you just collected your last character.
Yeah,
and so they're asking it. Wow.
Yeah,
it's like Pokemon Quest all over again.
Yeah, pretty much. It leaps up, and it's all well and good because like I am doing all right. So I'm at the boss of the merchant's second chapter at the moment. So I'm doing my second chapter. And the only reason I went to do the merchant was because there was 2 stories that happened in the same town. So I was like, screw it, I'll go there. I think it was the merchant and the scholars chapters were happening in the same town. So I went there. Firstly, holy shit, this map is big. I did not realize just how big it was. Like, in comparison to what they showed you in the demo, like, it is expansive. And it's awesome.
Feels pretty small for me at the moment.
Well, once you unlock all the 8 characters, like, once you've got all 8, you go to the map and you zoom out and you can see just how far you can go. And it's, like, it's really impressive. It's almost daunting how much space there is to explore. So I'm really, really excited because all the different biomes are pretty drastically different as well. Like there's been caves, there's been like coastal, like cliffside stuff. There's like a giant mansion that you go through. At the moment, I'm running through a mansion and I'm fighting the final boss. But oh my god, it's so hard. Like I've died several times to him already, to the point where I've had to go back to the main town and like run around a whole bunch in an attempt to actually get some extra stuff. I haven't unlocked jobs yet either, which is a little annoying, but I'm getting to that point eventually. So first complaint, the difficulty curve just spikes up. And I'm not bad at this game for a change. I'm actually good at a game. So it's really
and from my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. Although when am I ever wrong? Am I right, guys? From my understanding, when you can't just carry one character. Like you can't just go chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. No. You can't just follow one character to completion because that level, that kind of barrier in terms of like you have finished chapter 1 for all your characters, but you're still kind of level 12.
Because all the level 2 chapters are around the 24 to 27. And I'm assuming once I beat chapter 2 of the merchants, it'll jump up to, chapter 32, whatever it is.
Which I was kind of I will get it eventually.
I know you will.
And have to play it, of course. But the thing that kind of had me feeling a bit more positive about it was that I know that I'm not going to like every character. I know I'm probably going to hate 1 or 2 of the characters.
I do.
Yeah, so
which one?
The positive thing from my point of view was like, it doesn't matter because I can play through the other characters' stories and whatever and just kind of ignore that one and maybe go back to it later on or something like that. But the way the leveling system works, I guess you just, in order to get levels, you've got to go through. You've got to go through every character one by one,
and it's interesting.
Which could also feel a bit disjointed because you're just you're hopping from story to story to story to story to story.
Correct. One thing, and this sort of leads into my second complaint, and this is not so much a complaint. Okay, it is a complaint, but I think this is a flaw of the game, but it's not something I mind too much. There we go. Let's put it that way. You can't change your protagonist, out of your party. So I started with the merchants.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I started with the merchants, and I love him. He's great. Like he is arguably one of my favorite characters, and his abilities are awesome. But had I known that I needed to keep the character I started with in my party the entire time, I probably would have gone with someone a little bit more useful, like Ophelia. So the cleric. Because the cleric has amazing healing powers and every party needs a healer. And luckily, the apothecary does have a heal, but it's only a single target heal. And the boss that I just happen to be fighting at the moment is, like, just
That
tough.
seems really weird. Then how do they link? Is it before you can start your second character, the merchant, your first character has to find the second character?
Yeah. So you go and you get your first character. So I get the merchant, and then once you finish his chapter, you can go wherever you want. You can go pick up literally any character and do it in any order. I just went around the map. So I started with the merchant and finished with the dancer.
The first chapter, that's kind of like, that's like about the first hour, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's about an hour per chapter. Yep.
That's when you get to go out into the world?
Yep.
Oh, okay, so I've already finished the first chapter.
So the first chapter of your first character. Each character has a first chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I took
So your first 8 hours. I think mine was 10 hours. My first 10 hours were just collecting all the characters and completing their first chapters. And now I'm about 15 or 16 hours just from exploring, going through to each town and just using all my skills on all the townspeople there and provoking them and stealing from them and scrutinizing them. And it's just, it's really, really cool. And one of the complaints that I did have in a past episode of this was how dissimilar, I suppose, how similar all the character abilities were. So steal was the same as purchase. Well, they resulted in the same thing, you getting an item from a character. But then I've just realized more on the track that they have split, like they've sort of done that intentionally, and there are differences about it. So there's actually the noble path. So they're called path actions. And there's the noble path and there's the rogue path. So they do the same thing, but they've got different risks involved. So just for example...
Is that per character?
Per character, yes. So the dancer and the cleric both have the same path action in this fact that it brings a townsperson along with you and they join your party. So you get a fifth party member temporarily. The difference being is the clerics has a 100% success rate, so it's guaranteed to get you an extra party member, but you can't do it if they're a certain level above you. So you're limited in how many people you can, choose from to guide, it's called. Whereas the dancer you can do to anybody, but there's a percentage chance. So you can get someone who's 15 levels higher than you to come along with your party and just destroy everything, but there's a chance you'll fail. And if you fail, your town reputation goes down. And if your reputation goes down, people won't talk to you, they won't sell your stuff, or they'll charge you a way higher price. And you have to go pay the tavern keeper to reset your reputation. So I do like that. I've decided that there's sort of the differences between, because obviously the dancer is sort of the evil character. I suppose the dancer, the thief, the hunter, and... Shit, who's the other one? Oh, and the scholar are all sort of on the rogue path, if that makes sense. They're the sort of chaotic, the evil good characters as opposed to just lawful good. And yeah, so that's pretty much been the only two complaints I've really had with it so far. I am a little bit stuck at the moment, but like I can just go because I'm stuck with this specific.
That being said, those are pretty big complaints. Like,
look, I don't mind having to keep the apothecary in my party. I would have liked to.
Not that one.
I would have liked to have known it in advance.
Mainly the leveling thing.
The leveling thing. And
seems
look,
like
I'm not locked into
the leveling
this chapter.
thing seems like a big thing for me.
I'm not locked into this chapter, though, you see. So I'm struggling with this boss, the last boss of the merchant's second chapter. But I could just go to a different town and start doing a different character's second chapter and still earn all those levels. Like, I'm still level 22. I went from level 15 to 22 in getting to this boss. So if I go do another boss, chances are I'll get to at least level, 27 and actually be at the point where I can beat these characters. So it's definitely not a problem. I'm just being stubborn that this is where I was up to. I want to do this part. I want to see this chapter through to completion. But look,
that's a massive level. I would almost expect 5 levels maybe, but not double.
Yeah,
That's almost too much.
Honestly, maybe it's not double. Maybe I'm pulling those numbers sort of out of thin air. But it's definitely, it goes from the teens to the 20s. That's.
So is grinding? Are you active, like actually grinding? Like are you running out and?
I haven't ground yet. Like I haven't.
Oh my god!
What just happened?
My cat's just pulled everything off the bench, off the thing. Sorry.
That's right, we'll continue. I haven't done any grinding yet, but I see that I'm going to have to in order to beat this boss, unless I want to go and do a different chapter. If I don't want to go do a different chapter, I will need to grind in order to beat him. But if I don't want to go do another, I'm happy to go do a different chapter, which I am, I'll get around it just fine. So it's not going to be too much of a problem. One thing I did last week, I did speak about my concerns about the lack of character interaction. Like, it's sort of like they're just there. Like, if you're going on a journey with these characters, surely they want to, they're going to interact with one another. And I just hadn't seen it yet. But then it happened, and it was really, really cool when it did happen. So you're running along, and I was doing the merchant's second chapter, and a little prompt popped up in the top right corner after an event happened in her story that said, press plus to hear traveler banter. And I was like, oh, okay. So hit it, and the screen faded out, and just the merchant and the scholar appeared on screen, and they just chatted away with a fully voice-acted scene about what had just happened in the story. So it's just like...
I mean, they don't sing sea shanties?
They don't sing sea shanties, no.
Still, I guess, like,
Next time.
I think that was kind of, I think that part of it should definitely have been expected. I think...
I just hadn't seen
it yet.
After 10 hours, I was a little bit surprised.
Well, yeah, I think it's a bit... I think everybody going into it was kind of hoping or expecting that it would also... aside from that, though, that like the actual character stories would combine.
Yes.
And so far, what I've heard is that they don't do that.
Not yet, anyway, no.
Yeah,
at least from my experience, but no, they do. The way they sort of talk is, it is super cute, and it's not like they are very specific as to, like, it's not just broad so that any characters can have the conversation. Like, mine specifically was between the scholar and the merchant, and the scholar was praising the merchant for her selling ability. Like, it's just, she sets up a little market stall and she sells a bunch of stuff, and he's like, so I see you have the magic of words. I have the magic of fire. It's like, well, yeah, the same. But yeah, it's real cool. I'm really, really enjoying the game, and I literally haven't even looked at a different game besides Far Cry 2, like, since I started playing it. But I also played Far Cry 2, and I don't know what it is about that game, but I really like that game. Like, it's just...
Yeah, you do.
It's such...
Yeah, you do.
I'm just sitting there playing it, and I'm just smiling the whole time, and I'm just like, this is dumb, and, like, I love it. So, yeah, I'm really excited to talk about it.
You've also only played, like, an hour.
Thank you very much. I've put 3.5 hours into it. So, mate, please.
You got 30 minutes left to go.
Because you want at least 5 hours.
Are you giving us 4 hours?
Oh, 4 hours.
I said minimum was 4 hours.
Okay, cool.
I think that's. I'll
probably keep playing it though, because we're not doing replay till next week, are we?
No.
Yeah. So cool. So I got time. I'll be able to fit a few more hours into it, I'm sure. But no, look, that's been me this week. I am deep in the Octopath Traveler world. A little bit of Far Cry 2. Whole lot of anime, and as you can see behind me, well, you can't really see. I'll move out of the way. I have 2 boxes left to unpack. And then I'm done. Got some art on the walls now. Got my split system installed today.
Oh, they're the arts I gave you?
They are the arts you gave me, yes. And I really like it because I don't know if you can really see, but my typewriter is like the same color. It's kind of like a combination of the Metal Gear Solid one. Let me point this. The Metal Gear Solid one.
I was going to say, I can see Solid Snake
the Shadow of the Colossus one. Like, you combine those 2 colors into one color, and it's essentially the color of my typewriter, which also then the Final Fantasy one matches the color of the walls. So they fit this house so well. So thank you, Lord. Thank you.
Where are you going to put your Chie meat god one?
I have it in the kitchen somewhere. Definitely in the kitchen.
Excuse me, where's your pyre going?
The pyre one is currently at the framers, as is the Chie one. So they are getting framed presently. I'm not quite sure where I'm going to put those yet. I'm thinking about the Chie one, maybe like smack bang at the front door, so it's just a statement piece as you walk in. just a little anime girl skipping through meat world.
She likes meat.
She likes meat. It's her favorite food, in fact. So yeah,
it's not yogurt or pudding.
And then I think the pie one is probably going to go up in my bedroom, but I'm not sure yet. So still working on it.
Always have a bit of me in there with you,
but I got time. Otherwise, I was thinking the studio because it's video game themed, so it'd be nice to line the studio with a bit of video game art. That hasn't just come from our wonderful sponsor, pixelcrib.com.au. Shameless plug.
I currently have 3 video game related arts in here. I will show. I have Portal,
Cuphead,
and Cuphead.
Oh, and Bioshock. That's right.
And me.
And you.
And Detroit. Because they won. Detroit Gears.
The good old Detroit Gears. You know, Detroit Gears are from a game called Detroit Become Human. Lauren, I believe you played Detroit Become Human this week.
I did.
14
I played
times.
And I finished it, and I played it halfway through again. Why do I change my webcam?
I don't know why you halfway through.
No, I finished it, then got another halfway through.
Wait, but you haven't played it since last night, have you?
No, that's a long.
Or was that a new one again?
That was like my second playthrough.
But isn't playing halfway through your second playthrough?
Yes.
I am confused.
Wait, what? I'm also confused. I don't know what you're trying to say.
Sure, doesn't that mean you've started it 3 times?
No, twice.
She's halfway through on her second playthrough.
Or I'm wherever I was up to last night in my second playthrough.
Okay.
I'm confused as to why let's unpack this. She is halfway through her second playthrough. What part of that makes it sound like her third playthrough?
Well, because I thought she meant that it was you know what? Just shut the fuck up, Josh. You always crib it in on me. And I said crib because I looked at the Pixel Crib sponsored by thing and I was trying to think
shameless plug.
A word. Yeah.
Love them shameless plugs.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I thought that
Look, you David, you've been a real pixelcrib.com.au right beginning.
Now. I thought you were kind of,
which is synonymous for really great website that you should go to and use point and click and check out. I'm sorry, I'm gonna stop. Seriously, though, check out pixelcrib.com.au. But Lauren, you played Detroit Become Human only once and have now started it for the second time, and you were about halfway through on your second playthrough. Give us the lowdown.
Correct. Okay, so I very much, and no surprise, really like that game. Very obviously. It is a dialogue option, great name for a podcast, based story, changing up as thing about androids. And I am so surprised, to be honest. I didn't think it would be as good as I thought it was going to be, but I listened to your spoiler cast as well.
I would certainly hope so.
Yeah, and I agree that I really liked it, but there is kind of a lot wrong with it. So I'm not going to go into spoilers or anything like that. But my biggest gripe with that, I suppose, is that it literally paints itself into a corner and it just ends. I thought there would be something a bit different, maybe kind of a wrap-up or whatever. And I know that I kind of got rid of a couple of characters. One accident. Well, not one on purpose, and one not accidentally, but I picked the only option I thought I could really pick. And in hindsight, I could have just gotten away with it, but instead I kind of turned myself in. However, I really fucking love that game, and I especially love Connor, which I talked about in my playthrough. But I guess I was kind of confused about how the androids were portrayed, and I think that's something that kind of I kept thinking about throughout the playthrough. So, obviously, when androids go deviant, they become much more human. They have the emotions, they have the more humanized way of speaking, kind of I don't know, they're not robotic. I feel like at the beginning when you play as Connor and he's going through it all, people are kind of saying all these hurtful things to him, obviously, because he's an android and they're kind of segregated and you can't send him in there, get that thing away from whatever, and like, oh fuck, we got an android in now, and he's just like, what can I help you with today? And it's just kind of, he's very robotic. But then like before like you can kind of get further into his story, he really changes up the way he talks and everything. And it was kind of confusing because I wasn't sure what he was meant to be. And I know that there's certain story beats where you can kind of change the way his character works and whatnot. But like, I remember there's a point where we had to go investigate the strip club, and the lieutenant wasn't playing along, and he didn't want to go with you. And, Connor's just like, hey, we have to go. We got to go to the strip club. We have to go investigate. We have to go figure out what's going on at the strip club. We have to go find the deviant. Let's go, Lieutenant. Let's go. And then he's like, I don't want to go. And then there's an option to tease. And I clicked that, obviously, because it was either threaten or tease. And I was like, okay, I got to tease. And he, like, turns his back and he's like, fine, I won't go to the strip club then. Like, who else is going to come with me to the strip club if you won't? And I'm like, what are you trying to be? Like, are you trying to be like a human, or are you, because he's the whole way through, he tries to kind of adapt to Hank's way of being, because obviously he's trying to become friendly with Hank to try and get along in the case, become partners and whatnot. But yeah, he just kind of had these flashes of out of character humanity. And I loved it. Like, I loved it when he's like, I like dogs. And it's just like, oh yeah, same. So do I. Dogs are great. But it didn't really fit with the kind of non-deviancy that he has throughout it, which obviously, that's kind of the whole point of the game. But no, I really enjoyed it. I didn't like how mine ended. But yeah.
Were there any story?
Yes.
Are there any things that you disagree, without spoiling, obviously, so this might be a bit difficult? Were there any things listening to our spoiler cast that you disagreed? Because Josh, I feel like you and I, Josh, were pretty much on the same page in terms of...
Yeah, you guys were.
Yeah.
Very much on the same page.
Were there any things that you disagree... Not that you understood, but like agreed with, but, didn't care? Were there any things that you... Sorry. Were there any things that you, actually just disagreed with?
Well, I guess there was some parts where you guys were like, oh, I didn't like this at all, because they kind of brought it up and they just never explained it. And like in my playthrough, they explained it. Like, it's just kind of like...
Can you give an example without spoiling it? Ooh. It's teetering on the edge here.
There's a certain... Okay, this is going to be really general, so if you don't understand, I'm sorry. There's a certain thing that both of you didn't want to do at all because you didn't want to affect your relationship with Hank. And I did that thing. And I got to ask some questions that got answered.
Yeah, okay.
And I think, like, you guys kind of said about how the whole relation to the deviancy, how it was never explained, and I feel like that's kind of like, well, you guys have said, like, it's just a kind of convenience thing, how they have all the information, but they're not going to, like, they don't portray it in the story. And I'm kind of like, well, I got a whole different meaning to that because obviously I learned about the deviancy throughout it all.
I think I made a guess at what that might have been, of what, like, the information that you might get. For instance, a secret door. Was that part of it?
Yeah, kind of.
You find out about that thing that I didn't like about the end of the game?
Well, I never had your ending. Like, I had a completely different... Everything to you guys, I had completely different, so...
But, yeah... Like...
And I know that doesn't make it a good thing. Like,
no, I know. What I'm saying is that, like... Do we think that the endings to me seem like less about kind of... I got my 3 fingers.
Yeah.
And it's less about ending A, B, C.
Mm-hmm.
Was your ending, whereas, say, for example, Lauren, Josh and I got A and B.
Yeah.
You got C. Like, basically cut short because of your choices.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So, like, Connor was the only one living at the end of mine, which is just all characters can live, all characters can die. We've already talked about that before. That's not a spoiler.
This game has characters. I haven't played it yet.
So, like, I'm just stating it. I'm just stating it that in case you both yelled at me that it was fine. My screens just went black.
I was going to say, you are having... It's been a while since you've done this, hasn't it?
I haven't moved them out. I think because Skype is like a passive thing, whereas Discord isn't, or something.
Oh, right. So you keep
Lauren, it's all right as long as you don't spoil a 10-year-old game. Josh won't get mad at you.
Yeah, true.
I won't get mad at you anyway, Lauren.
Oh, thanks. What was I saying? Yeah, sorry. So Connor, oh, you dick. Connor was the only character who lived.
Everything balanced, all right? Say nice things, say mean things.
True.
It's all about balance.
Yeah, we'll get there. Yeah, good. So yeah, Connor was the only one who lived in mine. For Marcus's story, it literally got cut off at the knuckle, and it was kind of like it kind of cut back and forth with like, hey, you would have been here if you had Marcus, but you're not. So we're just going to show you kind of a flash of what happens now that Marcus isn't there. And then like Kara died in mine. She died very close to the end. In fact, she died at the end. And that just was kind of a very cut off ending. Like it just kind of, it was like she died and that was it. Like it literally was just like, well, you had a good run. And then with Connor, I had this one choice at the end with North. And I chose the choice. And he literally just left the room and then credits rolled. And I was like, there wasn't even like an end. There was not an end. The only end I had was Kara's end where like Alice was still alive. And she had a happy ending at least. So like that, it was literally, it just, the credits rolled and I was like, cool. I enjoyed that experience, but I fucked the hell out of that ending and I have to do that again.
Yeah, I guess like the only, even Josh and my, like our ending still didn't feel like, I mean, yours was
definitely
would have been
worse. But no, like even ours that got complete endings, felt so Pandora's box almost.
Yeah, I'm just very surprised about how abrupt it was. I like even this stupid cliche of like 5 years from now, Connor was found here. You know, like those end of like the movie's over, but we still kind of need to give you like little backstory
the Coach
of
Carter
like
ending.
Yeah, like these
where none
two
of
went
them
off
make
and
it to
they
the
got
NBA
married.
like at all.
Yeah,
spoiler for
and
Coach Carter.
Probably die. One of them dies. One of their brothers dies.
Yeah, one of their brothers dies.
So I very much enjoy the game, and the way I'm playing through now, like David, you asked yesterday in the chat, like how do I get pleasure out of playing a game that has choices that doesn't alter the ending or doesn't alter the story really whatsoever? And it really is just I'm enjoying seeing the different character traits.
It made sense when you explained it. I was just playing Assassin's Creed, so I couldn't be bothered alt tabbing. It makes sense that like
I'm a big narrative puffo. We know this.
If you think that but this will lead into a criticism. So don't get too excited about me saying something good.
Never do, David.
feeling good about like going back and being like, nah, yeah, I wanted to do this decision because I think that's more in line with my character. I guess like I would say I understand why you would do that. I can't but I had an example in my head of a different game where I might do that. But to me, like, I feel like a great game, and I don't think this game actually exists, but a great game in my head, like a perfect one of these types of games would be that it doesn't matter which option you choose. They should both fit the character.
I was thinking that exact same thing today, actually, because I was thinking about playing Detroit, and then because obviously, like I was saying, like Marcus's character, when I played it, he was all over the place. Like 1 minute he was peaceful, 1 minute he was vengeful, 1 minute he was peaceful, 1 minute he was vengeful. And it was just like, I wasn't quite sure what the character even was. And I didn't understand why he had such a vengeful spirit to begin with. So when I played through it the second time and I kind of chose option B, it only very slightly had a different like dialogue, basically, like a different way that the character was. But to me, that kind of opened up, oh, well, now I can go towards a more peaceful route because I feel like that fits in with the character now. But at the same time, like if I was to put Marcus, which I'm not going to, down for best character of 2018, he has to encompass that overall. I can't sit there and argue, yeah, but if you go the peaceful storyline, he's the best character. But if you go all over the place like that, because he has to encompass it entirely. So I guess it just kind of, it makes me feel better, I suppose, if I'm playing it and then I finish it. Because like I do have kind of my own canon endings. Like just in case it carries on at all, like The Walking Dead, for example, I'd prefer to finish up the game with exactly how I want the characters to be, so that when I move on to the next game and it carries over, that I don't have to go, fuck, I forgot that character's actually a dick, even though I like him now and I want him to be better, kind of a thing. So I agree. Like it's not a good thing that the characters can be so all over the place.
And I think that's something that, like, in the like ads for it and stuff like that, in the trailers, the whole thing was like, I didn't choose this, you did. And it's like, well, that's all well and good, but like, also be your own character. Like, if I'm not creating you from scratch, don't let me develop so much of your personality and have so much of it play out in cutscenes that I don't get to control. Yeah, like and that's obviously there is quite a bit of control in this game, but if they're going to give us that vast amount of character variance, like, fuck that. That's and it's also kind of, like what I was saying last night, like I don't know if it's happened in many games, or if, I mean, I know obviously you have to have a blanket number of choices and personalities and dialogues and whatever like that, but it'd be good to kind of, like, for example, if I was going, because there's a lot of options where you can be threatening or you can be condescending or you can be whatever to try and like get your point across. And obviously that leads to a bad relationship with Hank, who is like your main conversationalist person in the game as Connor. It'd be kind of cool to have kind of like a no going back unless you really push for it kind of option, you know? Like if I pick with Connor to be an asshole, basically, let's say for like 3 different chapters, from then on, there shouldn't be allowed to be an option for nice. Because
I mentioned that in the... I think that like one argument against that is that, but then it kind of restricts the choice because but then you can't, but like the counter fact to that is that like, but you're still going to have the like, oh, I fucked up in this scene or I didn't discover this thing. So that's where like deviation can occur. But it ruins like the times when I shouldn't be able to do the fucking like, it gives like I don't know. It's kind of weird because the argument is that, well, yeah, technically anybody could be an asshole and then suddenly try to be good, but it's going to be too late because you've been an asshole and nobody's going to respect you. I think there is a world where that works, but I think in this instance with Detroit Become Human, because everything else is so conveniency or like very...
Conveniency is not a word!
Everything else is very kind of like rote in that way. Something that would have made it better was if they shut off those options.
Yeah.
I think
like in Fable games, you know? Like, in Fable games, you kind of, if you're evil enough, they get to a point where you can only do evil things.
Yeah. I think like in a perfect one of these narrative games, they could have that option to like, change your mind, but it would have a kind of a very different effect than, it it going south because you were an asshole beforehand or something like that. Which makes me kind of like leads me to a bit of a question. Do you reckon we're ever going to get like it's not going to come from David Cage for sure, but do you reckon we're ever going to get like a close to perfect as possible narrative game where everything we just mentioned, like the fact that, you know, being able to either change and it making sense, or every version of that character being in line with the character?
Because then they need a sort of variance, you know. You need to be able to act accordingly, the way you would want to, you know. Like if someone's being a dick to you and you're being good all along, and you can't have like a dick option, then, you know, it's going to be.
What if the start of the game was, here is what you have a choice between these 3 character archetypes, and it's like being really obvious, like, you know, dickbag, goody two shoes, and then like smartass, you know, like, and then the story
and dickbag are pretty synonymous with one another.
Not necessarily. Oh Jesus, sorry, I've got a cushion on my chair, so it's...
But like literally what you're describing right now is the Sims character creation, where you pick your personality.
Yeah, well, I think it would have to be. I think it would have to be, but what it would do is by choosing that kind of character type, it's going to affect. It's going to affect like
partners at the same time. Ludicrous life goal.
Like if you chose dickbag, when you have the option to talk to somebody, you're going to have like 3 different dickbag options. You're going to have like smartass. You're going to have like just straight up asshole, and you're going to have something else like overly pragmatic.
So essentially what you're breaking it down to is the good, neutral, evil, with lawful, neutral, and chaotic, essentially.
And that
so
would,
if I pick a good character,
like, it doesn't need to go...
good archetype, and then my choices once my dialogue choices once I'm actually in the game would be a lawful good, a neutral good, and a chaotic good option, is what you're saying, essentially.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
just
like there would be more
nuance
nuance
and goody two shoes in place of
good, neutral, and evil. Like there would be more nuance to those archetypes, but within each archetype there would be like actual different choices. All the choices would make sense because they would all have the foundation of that archetype. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I suppose.
Like the conversation with, instead of having the general archetype and talking to Hank, and your options when you're talking to Hank are, if you've been a great guy throughout this game, and your options to talk to Hank are like asshole, angel, neutral, whatever, and you chose asshole, but you've been a brilliant angel beforehand, it's going to feel really disconnected, right? Instead,
I'd say so.
Yeah, instead, if you had the good person archetype, when you're talking to Hank, you would have like, you know, empathetic and like apologetic or something like that. All like very pragmatic. Kind of more positive. Pragmatic can be negative. So like, I think...
I know, I'm just saying word that ended with IC.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think that could be I don't know. I don't know if that works, but like it might be too much because you would have to do like 3 archetypes. But I think that would theoretically...
be very ambitious.
Yeah, if you're building off a core archetype, it means that you can make deviations within that archetype, but it's all gonna, no matter what choice you make, it's gonna make sense with that character because they're all gonna be springing out of this, like, ostensibly good person archetype.
Oh, that ball. She likes that ball. We threw it in the backyard.
Anyway, when I'm a game director, I'll do it.
I was gonna say, welcome to the Clickcast, where 3 people who have literally no idea about game design tell people how they should design their games.
I know very basic HTML. Thank you very much.
I made a 2D platformer in Game Maker in grade 8.
Yep, and you know what? Neither of those things count. So, Lauren, what else have you played? Give us the lowdown, because I know you went a little bit crazy with your tax. Buying video games. David, what?
I got 100%. Do you know who else got fucking 100%? People doing shitty...
David Cage.
You know what? I'm going to bring up this beef right now.
What are we talking
about? Okay?
Wait, 100%
because
what?
Game Maker, Year 8 Game Maker...
It is Year 8 assignment. Yeah.
Year 8 Game Maker, yeah. We're doing Game Maker. The first thing we learn with Game Maker is how to make a maze game, yeah? Obviously, very simple, very easy, all that kind of jazz. Whatever. But then, you know, we had to make our own game, and that's kind of what the assessment was. The teachers didn't know how to make 2D platformers in Game Maker. They basically gave us sheets and tutorial links, and we went to that to learn. So like 4 of us in the class decided, you know what? Fuck it. We don't want to make a maze. Everybody's making shitty, like 1,000 level maze games. That's boring as. We're going to make a platformer. And the 4 of us made awesome, different, unique platformers, basically trying to reverse engineer other 2D platformers and like the kind of tutorials that we found. We got 100%, of course. You know what the fucking maze people get?
100%.
They got 100% as well. It's bullshit. They don't deserve 100%.
The teachers were high or probably hungover, and they just wanted to give easy things. They didn't want to have
they didn't expect. They didn't expect.
Also, that's bullshit because a bell curve exists. So they didn't expect like a standard distribution of grades needs to exist for modern day schooling to function correctly.
This is year 8 though. They don't bell curve in year 8.
Yeah, they could though.
Yeah, they should
to prepare you for it.
Yeah, but yeah. So the I just remember it's always annoyed me that because the teachers didn't know how to there's no separation between 2D and a 2D platformer and a maze game, and it's obviously it gets me to this day.
Mm-hmm. Obviously,
but
Lauren. I will give you back the conch shell after David ripped it from your dainty little fingers. What else have you played this week?
So as you said, I did go a bit crazy with my tax money. I got it back because I had a very good, very stressful, good year of a lot of hours of work. So I got a good tax. Let me open up my notes, which are here. For once, I have notes. So I purchased 3 games with my tax money. Octopath Traveler, which the only thing I have to add to your discussion before was that I am playing Alphen, and he's very cool.
Oh, he's the apothecary.
He's the apothecary.
Yeah, cool.
He's very cool. He was my first choice.
Yeah, so you don't get to remove him from your party. So I hope you really like him.
That's fine. I like him.
He's great, isn't he?
I like him.
He's great.
Yeah,
I wish he had a multi-target heal, but he's great.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't care about that right now because I am.
Oh no, you will though.
But I just got to the town where Primrose is.
So you're the opposite direction to me. Cool.
Yeah, I kind of went around and down. Yeah. And it was like, add it to your party, and I was kind of like, oh, I kind of want to be solo as Alphen for a while because I feel like granted, I've only played it for like an hour and a half, so like I don't have that much opinion. But my only opinion so far is obviously I know that I don't have to pick her up in my party at the moment, but I'd like to have a bit extra, like another hour or so, really fleshing out what Alphen does before they kind of chuck in another person to learn. Because and I did pick it up. Like when I was playing the demo, I was worried that I wasn't into it. And I think that was just because like the mood I was in, I was just kind of like, well, it's a demo, so I better play it. But then I also knew there was a time limit, and I was just kind of worried that I was going to ruin it. So I started from scratch because I wasn't even that far into the demo as it is. But
yeah, same.
Yeah, so I definitely do enjoy it. I've already learned basically how to combat.
We lost you a little bit there.
Oh, me?
Yep. You learned to.
It's fine.
You're back.
I learned how to do the combat a lot better because I was just kind of making random concoctions, and I wasn't quite sure what breaking the shield kind of meant. Like, I think I must have skipped over it because that was like during E3, or during the aftermath of E3. So I think, I just kind of wasn't into it with the demo. So I was worried, even though I was okay. Like I told myself with my tax money, I was gonna put the rest of it away, but I was gonna like buy the 2 games that I wanted to buy. So I'm happy that I'm enjoying it. I'm excited that I have a lot more to play of it. Like
a lot more.
A lot more.
Like I don't know how many chapters there are for each character, but at the moment it's kind of appearing like every chapter is about an hour's worth of gameplay. So if there's even like 5 chapters for each character, and like there's 8 characters, like that's 40 hours of gameplay right there.
Yeah.
But I'm at 16 hours, and I haven't even beaten, like, I'm still on my 9th chapter. So this is going to be a big game.
I'm really excited, I guess, because because I played Persona, obviously, both Persona 4 Golden and Persona 5. They were really good long-term games. I guess Pokemon Quest is a long-term game. I'm up to 95 hours on that now.
Yeah, you are.
I actually started playing it again today. I'm not going to talk about it, but I was like, I'm gonna boost them up. But I'm worried that my max level party that I like is not going to be anywhere near strong enough, which makes me really annoyed. Hence my article that I wrote a little while ago about how it's broken. But and then I remember Matt played Xenoblade Chronicles 2 to completion, and I was kind of like, I didn't really want to play it, but I was jealous that he had something to play for so long that he was so into, and I was like, I want that again. But I don't want Xenoblade because I can't stand the sound of everything. So I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited for more time with Octopath Traveler. The next thing I bought was Captain Toad Treasure Tracker for the Switch. I've only put a little bit of time into this because I did get it on Wii U and complete it in one day. So I'm worried. I got it as a birthday present, and I sat down one day on a weekend when I had the day off work, and I was like, I'm going to play this today. And then it was 6 p.m. and I was like, hang on, I already finished it.
Isn't the Switch version just a direct port?
Yeah. It's basically a direct port. It's got a few extra things to it. So it's got extra levels like Mario Odyssey based levels.
Okay.
It's got co-op with Toadette, and it has, I'm pretty sure this is a new thing, and it's not really anything extra. It's an extra 30 seconds in each map basically. But it's you got to find the pixel Toad. In Mario Odyssey, the little pixelated characters that you find in on the walls and stuff.
Yeah.
And they give you extra coins. You find a Toad version of that, and that'll be completion for the map. So I'm trying to go through each level and complete it entirely. So you've got to get the 3 diamonds, the star, and also do the objective, which is different every time, defeat all enemies or do this, but only do it in 3 clicks kind of a thing. Except it's, so I really want, I was kind of, everyone was saying if you've ever played it on Wii U, you don't need to get it on Switch. And I was kind of disappointed in that. Yeah, I was disappointed in hearing that, but at the same time, I was like, no, I love Toad. I've never really attached to any Mario character, but for some reason, I go towards Toad and Toadette. So I was kind of like, no, they're cute, and they got Mario Odyssey levels, so it might only be a little bit longer, but I'm still interested in that. And yeah, but it just doesn't handle very well. So. Well, I put it in the dock. I played it docked first up. And so the infrared controller, the right one, acts as a wand. So you've always got this cursor on the screen that moves every time you move the red Joy-Con. And that's to point at enemies and click, and point at different platforms and click, because they'll interact with them and whatnot. So it's kind of annoying because I like to sit there with my arm behind my head or whatever that, just wherever I can, hold the Joy-Cons and be comfortable, basically. So it's kind of frustrating that I have to hold it at least straight or to the point where it works on the screen, especially because that's how you click. So there's levels where you click the platform and it goes up and down. So it's a puzzle and that kind of thing. And yeah, because you got to click it, you got to sit there and you really got to aim and actually do it. So that annoys me. But if you have it handheld, that's touchscreen. So holding it and then having to go just isn't comfortable, having to let go of it and actually tap the screen itself just isn't comfortable. So I'm a little disappointed with that, but it'll still be a cute Mario thing for me to have. And I allowed myself to get it. It wasn't a regretful purchase. So that's okay. But yeah, I'm kind of not going out of my way to play that one because I am worried that I'll finish it in one day and that'll just kind of be a waste. And then the next game I bought was a random one. I didn't mean to buy this one, but I looked in the new releases and it was this kind of pixel art looking game. And I was like, okay, yeah, it looks kind of cool. I don't know why, but I don't like pixel art. I think it's done, but I'm drawn to pixel art for some reason. And I watched the trailer for it, and it's a rhythm-based like endless, not really endless, but like 2D side scroller platformer game. And I was just like, okay. So this is called Beat Rush, obviously. By obviously, I mean I'm looking at it, and that's the only one left on the thing that resembles that.
Obvious to us who can see the scripts.
The script, obviously, yeah. So so Beat Rush, I am, and I've known this for a while. This isn't a surprise like your roguelikes and David's Metroidvanias, but I love rhythm-based games. Anything that has kind of like a rhythm-based mechanic to it. Crypt of the Necrodancer, like
Guitar Hero.
I was
You're
gonna say
the biggest
all the
Guitar Hero fan I know, and the only person I know who actually bought the new one.
Yeah, well, Cotter did too. You know.
Yeah, I don't know him though.
We played it together. Yeah, true. We don't know him. So yeah, I am just a sucker for rhythm based. So it's a and out of all the 3 games, I have been playing this one non-stop because I am so into it. So it's kind of like Spectra. Like, you remember Spectra, that little game I played ages ago?
Sorry, I'm going to excuse myself for 2 seconds.
Yes, you do that. So David, hi.
Yes.
Hi. So it plays out a full song, which might be 3 or 4 minutes long. And when you just, all you do is jump. So your character will continuously run to the right. You've got to jump over obstacles and collect coins as you go along. And as you jump, like the coins and the obstacles are placed in such a way that you'll jump like on the beat.
No. I know what game you're talking about. It clicked. When you mentioned coins and beat, I then looked at the name again of the game, Beat Rush. I know exactly what you're talking about. Wait, no, I don't. It is not Bit Trip Runner. I am completely incorrect. You can continue talking, Lauren. Go for it.
I would love to just see, like, the teleprompter of your thoughts just go through there and just, and I'm making a dick of myself.
Yeah. In my defense, Bit Trip Runner and Beat Rush both sound similar, and the description is there are coins in both, there are beats in both, and it is pixely. So
yeah, so
and
I'm sure a lot of games are as well. True, they are both on the Switch. But so I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know if there's only 5 levels, or unless that's like a next area or whatever. But I wouldn't be surprised if there are any final levels. It was only $8 as well, so it's not like it was a waste of money. And it wasn't, because I've already put like probably at least 10 hours into it. But if there's only 5 levels, I'm up to level 3. And you have to get through the song at its completion, obviously. There are checkpoints along the way, so if you die, it's kind of like it reminds me of Super Meat Boy as well. Like there's a lot of spike gears going around. If you jump into them, you just go into like an explosion of blood. And as you go along your run, it shows like your list of attempts. I've gotten up to about 350 before.
So wait, sorry. Is it like it's like Super Meat Boy, but like rhythm based?
Yeah, but yeah. So it's kind of like. So I pulled my hair with me. It's kind of like
I could get in on a bit of super hard beat games.
Oh, it's insane. Like I have a couple of small complaints, but I've learned very quickly how to adapt to them. So it's really only like every now and again because it's literally all you do is jump. Every now and again when you jump, you might hold the button for a fraction longer and they do a double jump, and your moves have to be precise and they have to be on the beat. If you are a split second too late, you jump too late, you might fall into lava, you might fall went black again, you might fall into Can you hear me when that happens, or is just my screen goes black?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, good. I wasn't sure if like everything turns off.
No, we can hear you and we can see you.
You did a GIF of on Twitter. Yeah, so, yeah. No, I was wondering what that was.
I recorded it. That was my recording. So as you go along, it's kind of cool because you can see little skulls, and that's like where you last got to. That's like every time you die, a little skull like will remain on the track until you go back to like the menu and come back out again. So I've gotten to the point where like it is littered with skulls, especially in certain places. And then every now and again, it's one of those games where you just become better as you go along. Like you really become better. Like I remember,
you memorize the
levels. You memorize
the
beats and the levels. So it's really fun. So there was this one part where I had to jump up four giant towers in once, and I just could not do it. It does look like a mobile game, but that's fine.
Wait, did you say this was on Switch?
Yeah.
How much?
$8.
Ooh.
Or $7. $8 or $7, one of those.
This is mesmerizing.
It is addictive as fuck. So like there's challenges, you get coins along the way, there's checkpoints. Every time you die, you can load back to the previous checkpoint, but it will cost you coins. So, for example, I will be, let's say, like 70% through a song, and I will die like in a spike pit or like lava, or I'll hit the side of because if you hit any side of a wall, you just explode into blood as well. You will go back, but as further along you go, the more coins it costs. So at the beginning, if you fuck up a couple of times, it might be like, 60 coins to get you back, but you've got 1,500 coins, so it doesn't matter. But as you get towards the end, it'll be like 200 coins to go back to the checkpoint, and you get better. Like it's kind of one of those things how you got to spend the money to get better at that part of the game. Otherwise, you just don't know what's coming up next. So like in the second level, for example, I was trying to get over this big part, and then like there's anti-gravity parts where it kind of fucks up like in your brain, like where you're jumping, because obviously you jump down instead of jumping up. And I got through it all, and I was like, I'm getting there. I'm finally getting there. And then all of a sudden there was a fucking jetpack, and I was like, oh my God. And I died like instantly because I didn't know like what to expect. I didn't expect a jetpack, even though it's in the trailer. I just didn't expect it to show up. So, I don't know why it's taken up so much of my time. It's definitely one of those, it's an unforgiving game that it's just like, fuck, I guess I'll try again. Oh shit, I guess I'll try again. Like I got so close. Like I'm trying to get through the first level flawlessly because there's like a 3-star system. Obviously, you get 1 star for going back and doing a bunch of checkpoints. You get 2, I suppose, for doing less checkpoints, and then 3 for doing it flawlessly. So I'm trying to do the first level flawlessly, and I can get to about 85% through of the song, and then I kind of screw up a bit. So I really like it. It's really good.
It sounds really, really good.
Yeah. It's especially good on docked because it sounds really good. So, but I've really impressed with that. It's from a Russian company, and it's funny because there's kind of a few typos in it. Like if you don't have enough coins, it's like not enough coins. They have a T on the end of enough, and it makes me think of like, an old Russian man going, not enough coins. Yeah. And then the last thing on the Lauren. I can't think of alliteration in that thing. Anyway, so the last thing, there's a game that we had when I was quite young on our computer. I think about it every now and again, and I just don't really do anything with it. But it's a game called Creatures. I think it's like Creatures Return to Albion or Albin. That
Albion is definitely a city in Fable.
Yeah, no, I know. Hang on, let me find exactly what it's called.
Exploring Albia.
But yeah, Albia. Yeah. So it's a game where so when I was younger, I mean I've always loved simulation, kind of like just whatever games like that. So it's a game where you hatch these little gremlin kind of creatures, and you have this big world, like 2D flat world, or 3D flat world, I mean. And your creatures just kind of have a mind of their own. You just kind of mind them and you watch them. And I used to love it when I was younger. And then I kind of thought about it the other day, and I went to go find it. It was like $7 on GOG. So I downloaded it, and like, holy shit, just like the fucking nostalgia like came flooding back. But as I was looking through it, because I was just like, oh yeah, you do, you have the creatures out there, they grow up, they have babies, they die. Eventually they you got to make sure they eat, you got to make sure they go to sleep on time and all that kind of stuff. But I didn't realize how complex it was. So I was looking through it all, looking through the menu system, the very old fashioned, everything says click here to go to the web for help. And I'm like, shit, this is so 2001. And
2004 to be precise.
2004. Wow. I think the first one, this is Creatures 2, I'm pretty sure. The first one came out like 97. It's developed by Maxis, I think, or helped develop by Maxis. So I think that's why I loved it, because I fucking loved all the Maxis games when I was younger. But they kind of give you this whole... It was a very ambitious game for the time. This kind of... You can try to start, like, evolving, like evolution. Not like Pokemon evolution, but like generational evolution.
Like, yeah, like Dark Ages to...
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, yeah, kind of. So, like, kind of like Spore, I guess. But, so I was reading into it a lot more because I showed you the snap that I was like, how does a 5-year-old decipher, like, genealogy and, like, all this kind of bullshit that comes into it? And so, like, as you're kind of exploring, sometimes your creatures will pick up these plants and you'll be like, fuck, don't pick up that. So you got to smack them to drop it. So they get scared of it. They have, like, kind of this aversion to it. Because they're poisonous. If they eat it, they will die. And then you lose your character, your little creature. But you can breed them. You can inject them with, like, you can create serums, inject them with serums and make them stronger, and then breed them accordingly to evolve offspring that are immune to, like, these plants. Or you can evolve them to search for the cold instead and be able to live in the cold and instead and be immune to different diseases that show up and all this kind of stuff. And I was just like, how the hell was I, like, playing this game when I was, like, 7? Because that just does not make sense that I could go ahead and do that.
But you probably didn't. You're probably just, like, content just doing, like, the bare...
I probably
like,
was, yeah.
Just clicking left and right on the screen or something.
So, like, I definitely remember breeding them when I was younger, but they were probably very sickly and they probably had, like, a third arm or something. But, like, I didn't realize how much there was involved in this game. And, like, all you do, it's kind of like a desktop critter kind of a thing. Like, you obviously play it to make them, to kind of grow them into rebuilding and civilized and all that kind of stuff. But I kind of just have it on the screen and I was watching them and they were just kind of walking back and forth. And then every now and again they'd pick up, like, some honey and they'd be like, oh, honey. And they'd, like, eat it. And then they'd, like, go to the other side of the map and they'd, like, use the elevators and go to different parts and whatnot. But, like, It's
amazing
crazy.
As, like, a kid how much fun you have with so little. Like, I remember spending ages on... It was some pet game where, like, it was puppies and cats or something like that.
Hang on. Was this dogs and cats with Zs on the end of it?
Oh,
that was my fucking shit, man. It was like Dogs 2 and Dogs 3 and Cats 2.
Wait, did you to make them breed? Did you have to get a love potion and spray them with it?
Yes, you have to get a love potion. Yes, and you sent them, like, love cookies.
I had to Google like how to get the love potion and stuff like that, and find out like what the fuck I needed to do.
So creatures and fucking dogs and cats were my fucking shit when I was younger. Like, I had pamphlets that were like my guidebooks of how to play these games properly.
You don't do anything though. You just throw them around. Make them have babies and then like wash them and throw the ball and all
that. Yeah, they're like desktop pets, but and then that obviously evolved into like The Sims and all that, and it was just like.
Hang on, before we get off desktop games though.
Yeah, sorry.
My hours into a game doing literally nothing was that stress reliever game. For those of you watching on Twitch or YouTube right now, it is on screen. Where you'd have different weapons that you could use, and it would just like take a screenshot of your monitor, and just like you could flamethrower it and put stickers and drop ants and then squash them with the hammer, and it was just like,
oh!
If you go to the stream right now, you'll see it.
I'm waiting for it to be on the stream.
Yeah, you'll see it.
I'm waiting.
You'll see it. This was literally we used to go to my mom's friends' houses, and they'd sit around, drink wine, and talk about politics and the news and all that kind of stuff. And I would just sit on her computer and legitimately play this game for hours, literally hours. Yeah. Maybe I'll install it on my guys at work's computers so that they have something to do when I'm annoying them.
Do it. But like, I just think it's crazy. Like, thinking back to the games that I played with, fucking dogs and cats, it was Creatures, and then it was like Age of Empires 2. And just kind of like these games that go up in difficulty, and like I know Settlers is basically the same thing, but like I used to play a lot of Settlers, and then obviously getting into The Sims. I'd spend fucking days on The Sims, and just it's crazy how you kind of evolve into those things. How I could like play 5 hours of dogs where all I do is like I groom them, and I put them in little pretty clothes, and like I paint them because you have a paintbrush for some reason. You can paint them different colors. And then all of a sudden go and I would defeat like the Turkish in Age of Empires on like hard mode. Like what? It's crazy how this works. I'm seeing it now, Josh. It's up on stream now.
It's so good.
I do remember this. Yes. Yeah. It was almost like a very, very, very early, almost like augmented reality kind of thing.
Yeah. Man, that is giving this program way too much credit.
Oh, I know, but anyway. So that's been my week.
That's good.
Been playing all those games. I've been having a real good time playing all these games, having a lot to talk about for once.
No, that's stoked. David.
Yes, that is my name.
30 seconds to summarize your list so we can take a break. No, I'm
rude.
Oh,
just hurry. Before I make that an actual thing.
So I will say that quickly I will get over the hump of I played about 2 hours of the Darksiders War Master Edition because I was feeling some Darksiders, and the other day it was on sale for $4 on Steam, so I bought that. So this is on Steam now. I own Darksiders, Darksiders 2, and Darksiders War Master Edition. Like War Master Edition is the remake of Darksiders 1.
Yeah.
So it's just they up-resed it, like they added new detail and stuff. I think they probably fixed the control scheme as well, and they added the FOV slider, so I can zoom out super fucking far. Like, how often do third-person games add FOV sliders? I always love it when they do that. But yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of that many that do that, really.
Yeah. And I like from my days of playing WoW, like, I like being... I mean, nowhere near as far out as I would, like, max zoom out that I am in WoW. But I like to be pretty far out. I like to see everything. So yeah, so I was playing that, and that runs really well, and I really like that, except when I try to turn off the game, it crashes. I need to Alt F4, it crashes, and then I can't use my computer, or I can't,
dude, I'm having
to, put my...
With Fahrenheit, like, because I'm streaming Fahrenheit at the moment, I swear to God, that game crashes whenever you do anything. Like, it's dumb. It's just dumb, but,
I've started and I might do it after, if everything's working, I might continue just, cause I have nothing else to play. And I feel like I can't play it now out on stream cause it should all be documented. But I started Infamous Second Son Expert, difficulty to head for my platinum. It's a fucking phenomenal video game. I love that shit.
So you say this is your first platinum or your first Infamous platinum?
First platinum. If I get it.
Oh.
It's my first platinum.
Yeah,
really?
I've never gotten a platinum.
I thought you'd have had some before.
No.
Oh.
No.
No, yeah, I've never gotten a platinum.
You're going to give Cotter on for his money.
Closest I've ever been is Red Dead Redemption, I think.
Oh, dude, that's a hard platinum.
Yeah, I know. It was like one thing left I needed to get or something like that. Jesus. Oh, no, wait, no. There was multiplayer. I think that's why I stopped. I think I was I had one single player thing left, and then I realized that
I had
multiplayer.
2. Yeah. Because I did the same thing. I was like, I'm going to do it because it's my favorite game. I'm going to 100% it, and then I was like, there's no way.
Yeah. I finished. I've now like 60 hours in. I have uninstalled Assassin's Creed Origins.
You've uninstalled?
That seems excessive.
Well, because I wanted to do it needs to go because otherwise I'll be
uninstalled Tiny Tower.
I'll be I'll be like kind of addicted to going back and being like, I can get another synchronization point and stuff like that. So it's like, no, David,
wait, let's
stop.
Let's go back. You're talking about when I uninstalled Tiny Tower on my phone like 8 years ago?
You can't say that's obsessive when you've done the same thing to get out of an addiction.
Oh yeah, let's get out of an addiction. I wouldn't say that DT was addicted to Assassin's Creed Origins.
Well, it was more than it's there.
He needs to stop.
I felt like I needed to keep. Yeah, I feel like I needed to keep going back to it, and it was because I was close to 100%. It was taunting me, but every time I tried to go for 100%, I would be like, "Why am I doing this? There are no trophies. It's you play shit." And so I didn't bother. But yeah, the story of Curse of the Pharaohs, which is the biggest DLC, is pretty boring. But fuck, that world. That setting, every time I bring up, and my eyes are closed while I'm thinking about this, because it's just, I'm imagining the world in my mind. And it's just like, Lauren, why haven't you tried to play that video game? It is so beautiful. The world is so amazing. Why? It's so good. It's just, I don't want to leave that world. I don't, like, if Odyssey comes out and it is
you have to
worse,
now.
I know, but like, I also don't want to, I could start a new game plus. But I was thinking I probably don't want to do that because I don't want to burn out on Assassin's Creed before Odyssey comes out. So yeah, so that was super bummy. But yeah, I it's just that fucking world is magnificent, and it's so much better now with my new computer as well because I'm playing it on full graphics and like 50 FPS without like an updated graphics card. So it's just oof. So yeah, why are you smiling, Josh?
Because I've just gone back to my Instagram to when I posted the photo of me deleting the Tiny Tower app. Lauren, that was legitimately 7 years ago. How is that the parallel that you drew between David uninstalling AC Origins?
I was going to say Facebook, but that's not a game. It's the last game I could think of you doing.
Tiny Tower. Like, I legitimately have not even thought about that game. Actually, since just the other day when I was talking about it with one of my friends. But legitimately, like...
Wait, is Tiny Tower the one where you have the little dudes?
You have citizens.
It was like the first clicker.
It's like Steam Tower. It's like Steam Tower for mobile.
Yeah, it's Bitizens. You get Bitizens and they have Bitbook and they post all over it about things like... Are mustaches really in style? I think they are gross. I evicted the shit out of that person. Ain't nobody liking mustaches.
I had
Morris
Tiny Plane and Tiny something else. Tiny Plane was kind of fun. Same gist, except you had airports. So you had to like send cargo and passengers to different depots and airports to make sure they got there.
I was like this close to purchasing Clicker Heroes 2. And I had to. It's a clicker. It's just a clicker game. You buy the game and it's just a clicker game. You click and the numbers get higher. I was so close. Oh, I still might. I don't know.
I have bought Clicker Heroes.
You have?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's Clicker Heroes 2. Clicker Heroes 1 has microtransactions. Clicker Heroes 2 is just the full game.
Okay, I think Clicker Heroes 2 is the one I have then.
Okay.
Maybe. Oh, I don't know. When did it come out?
Like recently.
Oh, okay. No, it'll be number one then because I haven't played it in
July.
a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah. No. Definitely wasn't recently.
But yes, and lastly, my father, the Noel Thomas.
Noel Thomas, 1955 in chat. He's not here right now.
Oh, is he actually?
No, he's not.
Oh, it's not. Okay. Well, anyway, he purchased a 65-inch LG OLED 4K TV. And today it got set up. Yeah. Today it got set up and I played God of War.
Mm-hmm.
We also looked at a bit of Planet Earth 2 with full HDR 4K. That screen is...
Is it good?
It's fucking hot. It is just...
DT, you have to whisper.
It is just talking about this. The particle effects. Like you can see each individual. You can see each individual particle. It's It's fucked. It's so amazing.
No, that's awesome.
So amazing.
That's awesome. I'm really excited to come see it.
There's really nothing more I can say about it other than it looks really it looks so pretty. And the HDR effect, like the lighting.
I can hear you.
Okay, good.
The vibrancy in the colors is just like unknown. So yeah, now I kind of want like a OLED monitor if they exist. I don't know if they do. But I wouldn't. My graphics card wouldn't be able to handle that. So, but eventually. So yeah, that's my stuff.
Cool.
There you go.
Well, we're gonna take a quick break. We're at the 1.5 hour mark, so it's time to go refresh coffees and teas. And I actually haven't had dinner yet, so I'm gonna like really quickly like grab and make myself a sandwich or something because I am.
David's got pizza left.
No, he doesn't. He's eaten it all. Is gone. Is so gone. So, guys, we will be right back for the news and trivia.
Woo.
See you soon. And we are back. Live from the shores of Mornington Peninsula. David Thomas with this week's video game news headlines. Breaking. Why didn't you go on make a sound effect?
Hang on. Okay.
That's a good enough sound effect. It's a siren.
No.
I love it.
Hang on.
Oh,
hang on. Where is it?
It's gone. It's gone. Whatever you were chasing, it's gone. Benji is providing sound effects now.
Oh, I tried. Hang on. Here we go.
Benji.
Real glad we waited for that. Real glad we waited for that one.
There was a news one, and now it's not there anymore.
Okay.
First item on the no sugar agenda.
Oh,
Benji. Excuse me. First item on the no sugar agenda, that's what we're calling it, is the Spider-Man PS4 Pro Edition. Have you seen this? You heard about
Spider-Man Edition PS4 Pro?
Spider-Man PS4 Pro Edition.
You're talking about the PS4 Pro that's Spider-Man themed?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah, cool. Just making sure.
Okay. I thought I was pretty clear by saying Spider-Man and PS4
No, well,
Pro
honestly,
version.
I thought you were saying that there was an exclusive version of Spider-Man coming out for the PS4 Pro, and I was like, no, they're not allowed to do that. They said they would not do that.
Why not?
Right. Well, the PS4 Pro Spider-Man skinned version looks pretty sick. Have you guys seen this?
Yes.
You looked it up?
I think it's hideous.
It looks cool.
I found
it. You think it's hideous?
I think it is hideous.
There you go.
Man.
I think it is hideous. There is not a single, like, custom or limited edition PS4 that I like that is not the glacial white one. I think they're all hideous.
Well, I wouldn't get it, but I like the controller. I think the controller's cool. I like the white and red.
I think it's hideous.
You know what? Fun. Fun.
Hideous, and this is not news.
I think it's cool. And therefore it is part of the no sugar agenda. Okay, so
whatever.
In other news, Nintendo.
I'm gonna do that every time. Every time there's a new news, I'm doing that.
Please don't. Okay. Please don't.
No, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. You can't stop me.
Wait, where'd it go? Oh no, hang on. Skipping that story because I think I closed the news thing. Actually, you know what? Essentially, I don't need the news thing. Essentially, Nintendo's come out and they've said that their goal is to have 20 indies coming out a week, 20 to 30. I know, Benji. I know.
That is 20, insane.
20 to 30
Stop,
indies.
No, don't do that.
It's too much.
That's too much.
I can't. Unless they
it is too much, but they're going to be absolutely bullshit, random crap.
Yeah. That's why it's too much.
Like what I thought Beat Rush was before I purchased it and realized it was amazing.
That's too many games a week.
Yeah,
too many games.
It's
too many games.
I think already there's too much.
Yes,
arguably.
Considering the Crypt of the Deck Dancer is still not out on Switch.
If they were all good right now, then it'd be okay. But they're not. A lot of them are just mobile ports. That's the worst. And
that's the problem. It's all just garbage.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Switch, I didn't mention it before. From my
coins.
Nintendo coins from Captain Toad and Octopath, I got Enter the Gungeon for free. Continue, David.
So yeah, that's pretty much. I think we're all in agreement that's
too many nindies.
Too many.
Ludicrous. Yeah. In other news, next on the no sugar agenda.
She's forgotten her own game.
Okay.
She's forgotten her own thing that she was going to do every time there was a new news item.
Yep.
Oh my god, you told me not to do it!
And I don't want you to, but I'm just pointing out that you've forgotten.
Because you didn't want me to. You hold power.
I do.
Gamescom is next week. I mean, not next week. It's definitely next month. It's getting late. Gamescom is next month, and Microsoft have announced that they are... Well, initially they said a new hardware announcement and new accessory announcement, but people were kind of like speculating that could potentially mean a new Xbox, and I don't think they really liked that. So they have come out and clarified that they will be announcing new Xbox One bundles and accessories.
Oh, okay.
So people are believe that one of those accessories is going to be the new Xbox Elite controller.
Oh,
that's probably the only.
Kinect 2.
Kinect 2, yeah.
2.0.
HoloLens.
And yeah, that's...
Why do we need a second? A better Elite controller?
I don't know.
Because iteration.
Yeah, I don't. But you can completely customize it, so it's.
But iteration. This one will have more customization.
I do want an Elite controller though.
Yeah, I want an Elite.
Damn, it looks
real bad.
Oh, it's cool. Yeah. It's cool.
I mean, I never play my Xbox, but I want an Elite controller.
Well, I would use it for PC.
Yeah, probably.
So, yeah. Thank you for this on-field demonstration, Lauren.
Okay.
So that is that. But moving on to more important Xbox-related news.
I press the one that's like a charge call.
A1 Brad Sams from Thurrott.com, owned by Paul Thurrott, has some hot takes on the new, I believe, Inside Sources, in which he said, back at E3, Microsoft mentioned that they were working on a next-generation console. At that time, I noted that this new console is a family of devices and was going by the name of Scarlet. So essentially, the idea was that theoretically, if he's right, and is a pretty reputable source, is that there will be one hardware-based console, so that is the kind of the Xbox that we know of, and then one will be a cheaper version, but it will be streaming. So it will be basically a streaming box. Virtually, like, so Scarlet Cloud and then Scarlet Hardware or whatever it's called. So, yeah. I think that's kind of... yeah. I mean, I guess it's like it's not really relevant for us because we're... Like, not even the fastest of NVN speed is really good enough for a stable...
Nope.
A stable, like, in-home streaming thing. But I guess it's kind of indicating where the future is potentially heading in some way. Who knows? Maybe if 5G is intense. But yeah, that's pretty much... I think that's interesting, though. The fact that they're... for people that can get it, I guess it makes complete sense. If they can... Yeah, I don't know. It'd be cheaper. So, yeah. But yeah, there isn't really much. I mean, I could go on and read the entire article, but I guess, like, if you want to hear more news about that, probably go to Thurrott.com and have a look at that really detailed article. So yeah, next article on the no sugar agenda. Oh yeah, is that, and this one's actually pretty cool. for World of Warcraft, if you've been worried about getting into World of Warcraft because you have to buy so many expansions and stuff like that, if you pay for one subscription, so that's like $15 a month. So for $15, you can have every expansion up to Battle for Azeroth. So just by paying the subscription, you can play the full game of World of Warcraft that exists at this present time until Battle for Azeroth comes out, in which case you'll need money for you'll need to pay $70 or whatever it is for the actual expansion. But I think that's good, and I think it's probably about time that the whole like battle chest, like having to buy the battle chest and then Legion, or the battle chest and then WoD and then Legion, and yeah, they would reduce the prices, but like it was a huge barrier to entry. So now it's just pay for a subscription, and then if you want to play the next expansion, buy Battle for Azeroth. Yeah. Yep.
Did you see the new trailer that came out today?
No, I'm honestly like kind of trying to avoid it because I don't want to feel the need to go back into it.
Yeah, Matt showed it to me before the podcast, and I was like, "Are you gonna get back into WoW?" And he's like, "I'd love, I just don't have time." And I was like, "Me neither." Like it's really sad. When I was like fully into WoW, I think I was like year 12 ended.
Yeah,
like I think it was schoolies. It was schoolies year 12 for me. That the cataclysm happened and we got into it.
No, that was my
I didn't
year
actually
12
have any
schoolies.
obligation.
I must have been your year 11 because it was my... No, it was mine. Because we sat in
Cataclysm came out. Cataclysm
came
out in 2010. At the end of 2010, Cataclysm came
which
out.
Wasn't that my 2000?
No, that was mine.
2009.
Yep. Don't take my graduation away from me. I started uni in 2011. But because I definitely started WoW in my schoolies because I remember all my friends were just going out and
partying. You were the
and I was like, cool with my druid. It was great.
So yeah, Josh, you'll be interested to know our next item on the no sugar agenda.
I'm happy that I have an input.
I actually really like it. Like we need to get the actual.
As long as I was going to say, as long as you pause, I can fit it in there.
The Vita game, it's the Vita 2018 has the highest game completion rate for the Vita.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Yeah, what?
2018 has the highest game completion rating of the PS Vita's lifespan.
Wow.
So people are
beating more games on the Vita in 2018 than they ever have before.
Good for them.
Yeah, because one person is playing it and it's the only console they have.
It's Julian.
So I will read out this. I will read out this article on GameIndustry.biz by Rebecca Valentine. As game card production for the PSVR Vita winds down just about everywhere but Japan, a very particular subset of players is helping sustain the handheld. Completionists appear to be embracing the Vita's easy trophy collection, effectively determining the system's top games in its twilight years. So, people are pretty much only playing it to get trophies, because it's easy to get trophies on PS Vita games. I find that...
How is it easier? I guess they just have less?
I think I think the trophies are just easier, and the indies that are on it, because you can't, because, you know, like you get an indie on on the Switch, there are no trophies.
Yeah.
It's the only handheld game that links to trophies. So I guess it's just some sort of achievement system. So
and indies do seem to have easier achievements as well.
Oh,
like the amount of time indies in general would have sorry, go on.
Cross-buy games allow trophy hunters to complete 2 lists on 2 consoles with 1 pop.
Oh.
So you get double the trophies.
Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense then.
That's smart. I like that.
I was gonna say because on Xbox, I think every game has to have 1,000 gamer score achievable, to get, and I think some games will have 6 achievements, and they're 125 each or whatever.
I kind of I love that subset of gamers that buy shitty games just because they're easy trophies.
Lauren,
I really like. What have you bought? What have you bought for that?
Legend of Korra.
No, Legend of Korra. Yeah, that was a really easy completion. I think it started when I was trying to do those articles monthly of the Games with Gold games, like the indie version. They're like every month with Games with Gold, there's a big fucking hell. There's like the big game and like the indie game, like the small game or whatever. And I used to always play the small game and try and get the most achievements out of it. And I think after that, I actually started looking for games I was interested in, not ones that were just bullshit like Bratz or whatever.
Yeah, see, I think that people that just buy the bullshit games.
Yeah, they buy
the easy like platinum or something like that.
We have like Frozen Puzzle Mania or something where it's like Bejeweled but with Frozen characters. I think we have that.
Kingdom Hearts 3?
Yeah. Actually, I got the early version 2 years ago.
Yeah. Sorry, this is going to be a really awkward transition. Next item on the no sugar agenda. I feel like it's late and I'm sleeping. Sipping into a food coma. Yeah, exactly. There's no sugar. Nintendo. Oh, sorry.
You did a little pause. I did.
Yeah, sorry. Nintendo is suing pirate websites for millions. This article is off of Kotaku. Kotaku? No, seriously, it's off Kotaku. On July 19, Nintendo filed suit in an Arizona federal court against the operator of two popular retro gaming sites which had been hosting ROMs of some sort of the company's most famous games. So, I guess, I don't know, this is the first time I've heard about Nintendo fighting back or getting big, trying to fight, emulation or ROM hosting people and stuff like that.
Not really. Like, they've always been kind of jerks about that sort of thing. Like, mostly in stuff like emulated, what do you call it? Like mods and stuff like that. Like, people have modded the Pokemon games hundreds of times over and they get DMCA takedowns from Nintendo all the time. It's just they don't need to fight. They issue a cease and desist and the person has to legally take it down because it's intellectual property theft. So like this won't ever make it to court. A cease and desist will get issued and the stuff will get taken down. They have literally no recourse about this whatsoever.
Receives 17 million visitors each month, and that such visitors are drawn to the website by the widespread availability of free, unauthorized copies of Nintendo's video games and other highly valuable intellectual property. The company is asking the court to award $150,000 for USD for the infringement of each Nintendo copyrighted work.
Okay, so they're actually looking for reimbursements.
And
that's
up
different.
to $2 million USD for the infringement of each Nintendo trademark.
Wow. Yeah, that website will not have the money to pay that. Like they'll get forced to take it down, and that'll be it.
With well over 100 games having been playable sites, that adds up to a lot of money. Says this very astute Kotaku writer, Luke Plunkett.
Absolutely. Ooh, that's going to be interesting to see how that goes down.
That's an incredible name, by the way, Luke Plunkett. You're listening to this. Your surname is
not
incredible.
He's not.
He is. Well, he is now.
Something we did forget to talk about last week as well is the We Happy Few rating. We Happy Few has been rated in Australia. It has received the R18 rating for a bunch of reasons, including drug use.
We talked about this.
Did we?
I don't remember that we did. It was just Facebook thing. I don't think we actually talked about it, did we?
We did. It happened like breaking news wise. That's right. That's right. That's right. Okay, never mind. I just, in case you'd forgotten, We Happy Few is coming out in Australia.
Okay, we need. Sorry, and go on with that one, Lauren. Oh wait, you're not looking. We didn't mention that.
What?
We didn't mention the. We're waiting for you to bring that in.
Yeah. No, sorry. I wasn't sure if you were done, David. So they announced the other day that Stardew Valley multiplayer for everyone, update for everyone, not just the beta, is coming out August 1st. So that's really soon. PC, Mac, Linux first, obviously. They said consoles soon. So not quite sure when that's going to be. However, what's his name? Eric Barone, Concerned Ape, has said that if you were in the beta, it's not going to be much different, apart from like a few bug fixes. So it's going to be 4 people, max 4 players living on a single farm, sharing the wealth, sharing the supplies and all that kind of stuff.
But isn't that farm owned by one person?
I think so. Yeah, I think I don't know if it's like a realm or like whatever it is called, like, you know, that kind of thing, or if it's a specific person's farm. But I know that I think they said that there was an article about it, but I'm pretty sure they said that depending on how many players there are, the money will kind of be scaled to people. So I think instead of like, let's say a good pumpkin giving you 400 and 100 each, it might scale to like 1,000 and you might get 250 each. Instead of like, so you kind of get, you're not kind of downplayed, I suppose, for having good stuff and just having to split it 4 ways. I'm pretty sure I read that. Here it is. Okay, so Stardew Valley multiplayer update actually comes with a plethora of other new features, which are as follows: chat box and custom emojis. Communicate using a new chat box feature with colored text and nearly 200 custom Stardew Valley emojis. I'm excited about that, yeah. Multiplayer marriage. Farm hands can choose to woo Pelican Town NPCs or craft a wedding ring to propose to a fellow player.
Is there polygamy? Can you have a polygamous relationship?
No.
That is a fucking red mark right there.
You can also divorce or ban farm hands by demolishing their cabins. Yeah, so you've all got individual cabins that you can figure out where you want to place on the farm. So you don't live in like the one house, like a share house thing. Scalable difficulty. As more hands are better than one, players are able to scale profit margin or produce sold to change difficulty level of multiplayer farm.
Cool.
Work together. I'm reading off a games radar, by the way. Work together. Each player lives in their own cabin on the host farm as you work so it's the host farm, I guess. As you work together to achieve common goals such as farming, mining, fighting, fishing, foraging, and festival participation. And invite 1 to 3 players to join as your farm hands, either starting from scratch or diving from your latest single player save. So I suppose,
so it can carry across.
Yeah. So, So, that looks. Cabins have a dimension of 5 by 3 tiles. So I guess they're small.
They're small houses. Yeah.
They're decent. And they'll be able to have like place for your.
I'm so excited to jump in on some of that lawn.
Ellie needs to get a Switch.
Oh yeah, no, it's gonna be a lot of fun. And by the look of it as well, by the trailer, you can have horses individually and they have hats. So that is
brilliant.
That is the most breaking news.
And that is necessary for horses to have hats.
I'm worried that I'm not going to be into it. But
same.
Because so I had the first wind, obviously, of Stardew Valley.
So much.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like I've already had the first wind where I played for like I had not played a game like that since fucking The Sims in like year 8, where I played literally all day. Then I had the second wind where I built up my farm really nice, and that was like an extra 20 or 30 hours. And then I had the third wind, which is when Matt and I were playing it nonstop for about another 30 hours again. And I just don't know if I'm going to...
If you can have a fourth, yeah.
If I can have a fourth, especially with multiplayer. Maybe if I play with, like, I don't know, depends who I play with. But I'm excited for it, and obviously I'll update, and I'll give it a go.
Oh,
but
yeah, we gon' at least put 3 hours into it.
We're going to at least try.
We're going to get that farm cleaned up.
We're going to at least try. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's right. That's right.
You know what time it is? I have Mr. Joshua Cotter online. There. Mr. Cotter, are you there?
I am here.
Fantastic. So, you two, I'm going to ask for your hands in the air. Trivia scores are on the screen. For those of you listening at home, Lauren and I are in last place on 15 points. Mr. Joshua Cotter is in second place on 21 points. And leading the charge is David Thomas on 22 points. The man with 3 first names and a lot of trivia points. So, Cotter, as you are not here, I'm going to ask you to answer first. And we're going to go from there.
Maybe that should be my business card. the man with three first names and not one.
Okay. And there is a bonus question, Cotter, so I'm going to need you to stay on the line, okay?
Radio.
Okay. On New Year's Day 2013, Australia welcomed the R18 plus rating for video games. What was the first R18 game to be released in Australia? Was it A, Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge, B, Spartacus Legends, C, Army of Two The Devil's Cartel, or D, Chivalry Medieval Warfare?
It's Ninja Gaiden.
She's going with A, Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge. All right. Thank you, Mr. Cotter. We'll talk to you in a second.
Yeah.
All right, David. Cotter has elected A, Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge. The other options are...
Go A.
You're going to go with A as well?
I have no idea, and I'd rather just...
He was so confident.
He was so confident.
Yeah.
He's always so confident, though. That's the problem. Lauren?
I know.
Do you want to hear the answers again?
Yeah.
A, Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge. B, Spartacus Legends. C, Army of Two The Devil's Cartel. Or D, Chivalry Medieval Warfare.
Oh. The only two I know are A and D.
You don't know Army of Two?
No.
Army of Two's a great game. It's not. It's objectively awful.
Oh, I want to join the party. I want to go.
You're going to go with A as well?
Yeah. We can all go down together, or we can all go up together.
Josh is going to get some points.
No, but in fact, you are all getting points, as Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge was the first R18 game to be released in Australia.
Shouldn't have been so confident.
Shouldn't have been so confident, dude. You got to think the strategy here, okay? So, bonus question. You know the rules.
Oh,
first person to say your name, you buzz in with your name. You'll be disqualified if you say the correct answer without saying your name. First person to say your name gets their first go. If you get it wrong, you are eliminated, and it passes to the other two. Although Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge was the first R18 game to be released in Australia, it was not the first R18 game to be available for sale. What was that game?
What does that mean? Oh.
Like they changed the rating.
It's your bonus question, man. You got to say your name. You can be first if you want.
What year was it again?
Did you say what was it? New Year's Day 2013?
New Year's Day 2013, yes.
So do you mean like they changed like the rating and the game was in store? Like, can you clarify?
It could have been pre-purchased.
Cotter, what was your answer?
The Last of Us.
The Last of Us is incorrect. Thank you though, Mr. Cotter.
All good. Let me know what happens.
I'll text you the answer. And no, I'm not providing clarification, but I will read you the question again.
Yes, please.
Although it was the first R18 game to be released, Ninja Gaiden that is, it was not the first R18 game available for sale. What was that game? Give you guys 10 seconds.
Of any R18 games.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
David. GTA 5.
Incorrect. Lauren, you have 10 seconds. Lauren?
For some reason, it's not the right answer, I know, but the Kane and Lynch game came in my head.
No!
So let's just go with that.
No!
Yeah.
It was kind of like Army of Two. It's because it's kind. Oh.
So Mortal Kombat was originally released as an MA15 game, as was heavily censored, but as 1201 on the 1st of January 2013, the censored stuff was patched into digital copies of the game and available for free download to every other person. And as a poor EB Games employee on the 1st of January 2013, I had to go stick R18 stickers over the top of every single Mortal Kombat copy that we had.
So that they changed the rating.
Yes, it was then re-released exactly 1 month after Ninja Gaiden 3 as the Mortal Kombat Complete Edition that had all the uncut stuff already worked in. So it was re-released later.
Was this like Mortal Kombat 10?
No, Mortal Kombat 9. The one that had Freddy Krueger and Kratos in it.
Oh, yeah.
So there you go. So you all move up 2 points for getting
Did anyone get
the
last
actual
week's
question right.
Bonus, the Mario Odyssey?
DT did.
Oh, good job.
That's what kept him in front of Cotter. I move up 1 point as none of you got the bonus question correct. So I move to 16. Lauren.
Oh, you're pretty much consistently going to get a bonus. I suppose there's not always a bonus question.
Not always, no. And like you got it last week.
Yeah, I know, but that was...
There's often
usually
you guys are getting the bonus question right. Don't you me?
Well, I was in the middle of a burp, and then I thought to turn it into
a scoff.
Yeah.
Guys, this has been episode 111 of the Clickcast. Thank you all so much for joining us. As always, you can find all of our stuff over at www.pointandclick.com.au. That's with an N for Nelly. You can find us on all of your favorite social medias. We are at #/_pointandclickaus. On Twitter, I am at Josh Enor, ENNOR. Lauren is at the Lauren McLean. David is at Touchidavos, TOUCHIDAVOS, and Connor is at JT Cotter with 2 T's and 2 R's. Thank you, as always, to our wonderful sponsor, Pixel Crib. You can check out their stuff at www.pixelcrib.com.au and use the checkout code POINTANDCLICK to receive a bit of a discount and some extra pixel coins. We have some stuff hopefully coming this week that we can show you guys off next week from them. So that is very exciting. If you are listening to this on iTunes or any of the audio platforms, please go give us a rating out of 5. Be as honest as you wish. We'd prefer the 5-star ratings because we haven't lost one that wasn't yet. So go give us 5-star ratings. If you're following on Twitch, or if you're not watching this on Twitch rather, we do go live every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. David, are you going to continue with an infamous stream, or has your sleep deprivation gotten to you?
I don't know. I'm going to have to decide in the next 10 minutes. I don't know if I can be bothered setting it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, David might be back with some more infamous.
What are you going to do tonight?
Otherwise, I will be back tomorrow with...
I was going to do a bit of it. I was going to do an additional one tonight. I don't know yet. I may be back.
But otherwise, if this is the only time you tune into the Point and Click Twitch page, we will see you next week for episode 112 of the Clickcast and replay Far Cry 2. Bye.
Ball of dust on it. It's amazing how I find it fascinating how we worry about, static electricity and touching the wires and touching the kind of the actual
all that in there,
and you've got so much of that dust. How the fuck does it